Cold stress can affect anyone working outdoors. That includes our cattle producers. I'm Steve White, joined by Aaron Yoder. He is from the University of Nebraska Medical Center, Ag Health, Central States Center for Agricultural Safety and Health / Extension. Do I have all that right, Aaron?
Yes, for sure.
So, cold stress. Our cattle producers, they're going to encounter that too, right?
Yeah, any outdoor worker, especially our cattle producers that have to go out on a regular basis to take care of their animals.
Are there some risk factors that we need to be aware of when working in the cold?
Yeah, and what we emphasize the most is prevention. So in order to prevent injuries, we have to understand how they occur. So like you mentioned, the risk factors, things like working in wet and damp environments, the weather changing on us, whether it's rain or snow or melting. We also think about sweating. We don't think about sweating in the wintertime, but when we get all bundled up.
Absolutely.
So dressing in layers and stuff like that. So thinking about what we can do to tackle some of those risk factors.
Then I imagine if we're also suffering from hypertension and some stress and we're not in good physical shape, that probably all adds together, doesn't it?
Yeah, they say there's nothing that gets you going more than when a cow gets out of the fence, right? So understanding what all those things you have to do, those physical demands of working outside, and then maybe even the opportunity to set in the cold for a while when you're waiting for something else to happen.
But just like anybody, you can deal with things like frostbite, hypothermia. I mean, these are the concerns for anybody, but especially if you're out there working cows, these are the challenges, right?
Yeah, and you may be far away from a heat source. You might be out in the middle of nowhere working. You might be working by yourself. So there's less access to treatments for these type of injuries that could occur. So making sure, again, going back to that preparedness, having a plan when we go out to do work. How long am I going to stay outside? Do I have a chance to get warmed up somewhere? What do I want to do when I'm out there working in the cold?
And just being aware of your own body, recognizing the signs that maybe I need to take a break and go somewhere warm, get back in the pickup for a little bit, those kinds of things too.
Yeah, our bodies are really good at telling us stuff, and we're also really good at ignoring what it's telling us. So we want to make sure that we follow some of those guidelines, reading up on it ahead of time so we know what to look for and how to treat something if it does happen.
And you mentioned sweat, but even staying hydrated, that's even important, even in the winter.
We don't think about that very much at all. We think about it's cold out, we don't need to drink out as much. When we're outside in the summertime, we think about staying hydrated. In the wintertime, sometimes we'll drink a lot more caffeinated beverages, especially the warm beverages, but any fluid intake is good. Regular water and other electrolyte sources are even better.
I know when I work in the cold in my line of work in the winter, I always keep an extra pair of boots, I keep extra gloves, I keep an extra hat, I keep extra socks. Because if those things get wet and damp or those kinds of situations, are those maybe some things, just simple things like that you can do?
Yeah, and then dressing with the right layers. We know certain fabrics help take the moisture away from our bodies. We don't want to stay wet. Like you mentioned, if your feet or gloves or boots get wet, sometimes we need to make sure we trade those out. So having that extra clothing with you in your truck or in the shop or wherever it's close, and making sure that we take the time to check that stuff and to change it if we need to.
Inevitably, calving season always happens when there's a blizzard and the wind is whipping, and that's just Nebraska, right?
Yeah, so we need to be prepared to deal with all kinds of weather adversity when we're out there.
And if people want to learn more, how can they find your program online then?
Yeah, so Googling or searching CS Cash for Central States Center for Ag Safety and Health. Another program we have called the Feed Yard 15 has this materials in it. They're free materials for you to look for at yourself or to train your workforce with.
All right. Well, again, we've been visiting with Aaron Yoder from the Central States Center for Agricultural Safety and Health.